Welcome to MaryIsTheNewEvangelization.com, and my name's Tom, and I want to review a movie that's doing pretty well at the box office. It's called Heaven is for Real. It's about little Colton, and he had an operation, and during the operation he left his body and traveled around the hospital and actually ended up back at his church miles away, and eventually heaven. And in heaven he met his sister he never knew he had, who was miscarried, and met his grandfather, and found out that Jesus had bluish green eyes, and that it's a beautiful place to be, nothing to worry, nothing to fear. So Colton came back after the operation and began to tell his father about all his experiences, and his father pretty much believed him for the most part. His mother was definitely an unbeliever, I think. Now, I believe Colton. I believe a 4-year-old boy is not going to lie about something like that. So I totally believe him. I read the book, and I believe in heaven. I believe in angels. There are angels. I believe that miscarried babies are going to be in heaven. I believe also aborted babies too. You know, the one thing that came out was that his parents never named this little girl, so she had no name. Even in heaven, she had no name. It was a swing set. There's probably many different dimensions to heaven. So this was like a little kid's heaven where she was playing on the swings. And so that's lesson number 1 from this movie. Name your babies. Okay, if you lose your child through miscarriage, name that child. Talk to that child. If you have lost a child through abortion, name that child. Talk to that child. Tell the child you're sorry too. So that's point number 1. Okay. Yes, we are all connected in Christ Jesus. So lesson number 2 is, out of the mouth of babes. Like Colton was a choice for. What a beautiful experience for this 4-year-old child. Great kid. And Jesus said, the kingdom, unless you're like one of these children. So the children are so close to Jesus Christ, so close to the kingdom of heaven, that it shouldn't surprise us that he would have such a wonderful experience. It should not surprise us at all. Okay? And we should take it seriously when children talk about heaven and angels and things of that nature. Jesus was so clear that unless you become a child, you will not enter the kingdom of heaven. So, now, here's the problem that I found with the movie. And these people, I understand they were Wesleyan church Protestants, and I have no problem believing that Jesus Christ appeared. I have no problem believing that he appeared at this church when this little boy was there in the church. I have no problem believing that at all. Jesus said, whenever 2 or more are gathered in my name, I'm present in their midst. So now, this is the problem that I have with it. And I cried. It was a beautiful movie. It was well done, well worth seeing. Okay, but here is where I'm going to ask you to think about what I'm saying, pray about it, and tell me whether or not, I'm right or not. Okay? All right. I know for a fact that they asked Colton if he saw Mary, Jesus' mother, in heaven. And I know for a fact he said yes. Okay? Now, and he apparently gave a description, whatever. So, now, this movie did not bring that out at all. Did not bring the fact out that he saw Mary in a prominent place in heaven. So whoever produced the movie, they picked and chose what to include, what not to include. Okay, I understand you only have so much time, you know, but in the course of a conversation with his father, um, that could have come up. He could have brought that out into the movie somewhere, some shape or form. Or even at the end of the movie, when they're listing all these facts about what Colton's doing, they could have had a thing, extra other things that Colton saw in heaven, whatever. But they purposely did not include that. Okay? They purposely did not include it. It was a decision. There's no question about it. They had to decide what to keep, what not to keep. It was more important for them to portray the grandfather, the miscarried sister, the bluish green eyes, the angels, um, then include the mother of God. Okay, that was a decision that they made. Now, here's my point. The mother, Colton's mother, was so far removed from her son's experience. It became stress in the family. The dads believe in the boy, and the mother's like wanting to move on with their lives and not talk about it, and she's stressed financially, and she's breaking dishes in the sink over all the stress, and then she's a good wife, lovely, wanting to get away with her husband. I mean, she was fine as far as, being a Christian woman, but the mother thing, where was she? Why was she not right there with her little boy? Son, what happened? Tell me all about it. I mean, I find that really hard to believe that this mother emotionally was so removed from her son and his spiritual experience that it caused all this trouble in their marriage. Like, why was this woman just not spiritually tuned in? The other main woman in the movie was the lady from the church who didn't want to hear about Colton's experience with heaven and was actually wanting to get rid of his dad. Okay, she calls a meeting. She's very concerned what's happening to our minister. Once again, this woman totally insensitive to really a miracle that took place. Okay, so then the other female character, the little girl, sister, punches two kids and knocks them out in the schoolyard because they were teasing her about her brother Colton. So here's the little girl from the Christian family who's taught to turn the cheek, who goes and punches two boys in the nose, and then, isn't even punished for it. Okay? So, as far as I know, there's the three women characters in the movie, and all three of the women characters are fallen short in some way, shape, or form. Okay? Now, there was another Hispanic woman or Mexican woman, Lucia, and she had a minor part, but she seemed to be, very appropriate. But here's my point. If you're going to leave out the Blessed Mother, okay, then and Colton even said he saw her, you're going to leave that out, knowing, there's going to be tons of Catholics that are going to go to this movie, right? Tons of Protestants who don't even talk about the Blessed Mother going to the movie. So we're just going to leave the Blessed Mother part out. Then you have this wife portrayed as a very, really unspiritual. She sang at the choir, but she wasn't there with her little boy in his spiritual experience. And then the woman in the church. So my point is this. What is up with this anti-woman? I see it as an anti-woman bias in this movie. Okay? And if this is in real life, if this is how that mother was, just totally not in tune with her son, 4-year-old son, spirituality, there's something wrong with that. And the woman in the church. You know, this is a little boy. She was so insensitive to that little boy. So what's up? What's up, people, with this? Um, that's my thoughts. I love the movie, but it was missing, the female. The female was absent in that movie, okay? It was a pro-male movie. And I'm just wondering how come no one caught that, and Colton's beautiful in the midst of he's just a kid, but I don't know. I I don't know. So I'm happy, for Colton, and I'm happy he had that experience. I recommend you see it, but maybe I'm just, you know, missing something. But I would appreciate it. Did anyone else feel that way? Thank you. Leave a comment. God bless.